Welcome to Sound Leadership with DJ, the podcast that explores all things leadership. If you're interested in learning from the best and the brightest mind in the world of leadership, you've come to the right place. Today's guest is a very special guest, Dr. Pete, the executive director of a 179-bed nursing home in Columbia, South Carolina. He comes to us with a diverse background as a respiratory therapist, a combat medic, and a nursing home administrator. See, Dr. Pete's leadership journey has been a diverse one, but he calls it rewarding. Join us as we dive into Dr. Pete's leadership style and its impact on those he has led. From his early days as a combat medic to his current role as an executive director, we explore the path he took to get where he is today and the lessons he's learned along the way. As an experienced leader and mentor, Dr. Pete has a wealth of knowledge to share with you. He's going to talk to you today about how to become the best version of yourself, navigate your personalized journey, and achieve your respective destiny while impacting social change. He's here to discuss success and failures that he's had along his journey. So whether you're a seasoned leader looking to sharpen your skills or just starting out on your leadership journey, this episode will have something for you. So buckle up and get ready to be inspired, motivated, and empowered to be your best leader with Dr. Pete on Sound Leadership with DJ. Welcome, Dr. Pete. How are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing well. How you doing?
Hey, man, I am excited to have you on. This is one of the most exciting interviews I've had in a long time. So I am excited to talk to you about all things leadership.
Awesome.
Let's dive right in, right? Who is Dr. Pete?
Dr. Pete, wow. I tell you, this journey has been a long one. I'm Haitian American. My parents are from Haiti. I was actually born in New York, raised in New York, and after leaving high school and left to Florida and joined the military, we began.
Okay. So
it's great.
How did we get doctor in front of our name? I'm just gonna dive right in. How do we get the doctor in front of our name? Talk to us about your background, right? Because it's a prestigious thing. So talk to us about that.
Well, to be quite honest, my journey in the beginning was to be a surgeon. I joined the military to become a surgeon. I wanted to be a surgeon growing up, and life has its way to push you out of things, and life happened. I went to war, came back from war. I had several deployments, and I think the most pivotal part of my life was when the relationship with my wife didn't work out, and she left. And I made a decision there. I was like, do I continue the path to become a surgeon and pretty much be an absentee dad, or do I go? I am already fulfilling a good life as a respiratory therapist. Do I move forward and become a respiratory therapist? My other passion was always to lead others and to motivate people. So it was always innate in me to do that.
Wow.
But a really fun story. It took me 25 years to get my shit. 25 years. I started in 1989.
Okay.
And it was from that experience that I'm actually penning a book called The Power of Movement: Purposeful Strategies to Achieving Your Destiny.
Wow.
And it all comes from my experience, my tenacity, my perseverance to make that degree happen. I took one class here, one class there, one class here, one class there. Rogue children, take a break. After they get back straight, go back to school, and then finally in 2014, I got my bachelor's.
Wow.
Then I went right into a master's. And then I said, I'm done with the master's. I'm good with the master's. And I would stay with a master's degree. And my intentions with the master's degree was to be a COO of a hospital.
Okay.
But I was already in long-term care, so it felt like I was being counterproductive, going against the grain. So I fit, and so I remained in long-term care. The reason why I got my doctorate was really for retirement. because I can do everything I'm doing right now with a master's, but
Yeah,
I got
definitely.
a doctorate to be able to teach
Okay.
when I come off the job full time, that I would be able to have a job as a professor or an adjunct professor.
Yeah. So as we dive into leadership and what leadership means to you, um, how did you get into leadership? Right, you've kind of walked us through your journey, your degrees, right, and how you got to your doctorate. How did you get into leadership? What drew you into leadership?
Started in the Army.
Okay.
It really did. I was a specialist in the Army. Well, you start out as a private and you become a
Okay.
PFC, E3. Then I became an E4. And then something happened. My sergeant made me a corporal.
Wow.
That means I'm still an E4, but now you're in charge. I want you to be in charge of these guys. And so now I'm in this world of leadership. It was a very difficult role because I was now leading my peers that I went out, partying and having a good
Yes.
time with. I'm telling them what to do. And it was a little rocky at first, but it was a very valuable lesson for me on making that transition. That's when the transition happened in the military, where I became a leader, albeit I was a young leader, still knuckleheaded. And then I became a sergeant, still knuckleheaded.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that was the foundation of where I started as a leader. But it didn't get perfected, and it's still in this. You're constantly perfecting yourself. It's a lifelong journey of learning. That's
Yeah.
a true leader. True leader is always learning,
Wow.
always adapting, always learning. And so, but I've come to a place where my leadership style and how I lead motivates and captivates and galvanizes people to move towards a goal and achieve great results. So,
Wow. Wow. And that's what's important, right? Because leadership is not a dictatorship. And
no,
I think you hit the nail on the head, right? Your leadership style motivates people. You inspire people. But I'm sure, like you said, you weren't always there. You used that term knucklehead, right? That was the term that you used. So, how do you continue to grow and evolve your skills as a leader? How are you doing that?
I have a mentor. I
Hold on.
have,
Dr. Pete has a mentor?
absolutely, absolutely.
Oh,
Don't underestimate the power of mentorship. It's when I think a lot of times I always go back to the Bible. You know, I remember in the Bible where Jesus says, "Except a man be under another man's vision, who will give him his own?" So there is a space where you learn under somebody else and grow and have the blessing to move on as you when you perfect that which you need to perfect. So I use that same type of concept in my leadership journey in terms of growth. So, but I do have a mentor, and I do mentor a lot as well. But
wow.
what really, and I'm always learning. Look, a book here called Soar. I got a book here called Mindset. You
Wow.
know, always
Wow.
feeding the mind.
Taking and learning. Wow. That is
Always feeding the
amazing.
mind.
So, how do you find time to continue to perfect your leadership skills when you're leading an organization? As I said in your intro, right? You oversee a 179 bed facility. You are an executive director with, I can't even fathom how many employees you have reporting to you. So, how do you have time to kind of support your mental health and grow as a leader, but also pour into others, right?
130.
100, get you more. But tell me, how do you
I
how do
mean, I
you
mean, I mean, 130 employees,
that's
14,
huge, man. So
14
how do you
directors.
pour it to them? 14 direct. Talk to us about the secrets.
So, at the root of being a leader is a beautiful word called influence. The power of influence can go a long way. If you want to be a good leader, master the art of being an influencer. Because if you can influence, what does it take to influence people? Communication. It takes communication. It takes leading by example. You know, it takes encouraging, being an encourager. You know, those kind of things are very important in that. Empowering them, seeing the strengths in your team, emotional intelligence, identifying their emotions in that social dynamic called a team. Where are your strong points? Where are your weak points? That's where appreciative inquiry comes in. Let's look at the strengths. Let's look at the strengths. What are you good at? I'm going to use you where you're good at so I can build you up while I help you where you're not so good at and still build you up. You see? So as a respiratory therapist, as a nurse, when we run a code,
Yes.
I could start an IV.
Yes.
But the lady beside me may not be able to start an IV. Are you going to have her start an IV and demoralize her? You're going to put her where she's good at, not only for her sake, but for the sake of the person you're helping. But you're going to make a mental note. Okay, we need to train her on doing IVs so that she can be ready, and that'll give her another skill and it'll make her more marketable. So those kind of things. Not all RTs can intubate. I happen to be good at that. So I'm not going to put you on intubation. I used to take students. I said, look, I'm going to give you one try. This is a code. I'm going to give you one try. If you don't get it, I'm going to have to go in and get it. But we're going to work on it on a mannequin. Boom. So I build them up. It's influence. All of that is influence. It's wrapped up in that beautiful word called influence.
Wow.
Provide feedback, constructive feedback.
Yes.
Is a form of influence, if you ask me.
Wow.
Because you're helping them grow. You're giving them constructive feedback on what they're doing to help them improve. That's influence.
Wow. I've never heard nobody break it down that way. So I am grateful to learn something new from you just in that segment, right? So you talk about influencing, you talk about communication, constructive criticism, and just your various different ways that you help to that you lead. When you think of leadership and you look to your leader, what qualities are you looking for in a leader?
Good question. You know what? Being approachable. I've been around leaders where they're not approachable. And for me, all my staff know that they can come to me. My team knows that we can have difficult conversation and we're going to be all right as long as we don't attack character. But you get some leaders that attack character. They attack you. They're attacking you. The numbers are not going that way. What are you doing there? You guys are horrible. We got to turn this thing around or we're not going to make it. Our numbers are down. Whoa. We're on the same team. Yes. That's not influence.
Yes.
And so what I look for in a leader is that ability for them to be able to connect on a level that promotes growth in me. And I recently told that to my boss. I told him, I said, you know what? When it comes to moving people and building teams, I got that. But what I appreciate from you is that you help me balance myself out as an operator, learning the numbers and really because I'm a clinician at heart. Those numbers, I stare at it for hours before it makes sense to me. And you have helped me grow in that area. And he was like, well, Dr. Peter, I appreciate you for saying that. I was actually the opposite. I was good at numbers, but I was losing the people. And he said he hired a coach.
Wow.
So
something in that, huh?
Yeah. And I was telling you earlier that my DON, was a little upset today. And I talked to her. I said, look, as a director of nursing, you're not just managing the clinical side of things. You're also managing people. You got to galvanize your people. Get them on your side. Get buy-in. Hold huddles. talk to them, you know, do role play, skits on things you want to see, make it fun, you know. And so, what I look in a leader, I look for them to be approachable. That's so hard. A lot of them are not approachable. It
Yes.
doesn't have to be that way.
Listen.
We want to please you. We want to please you.
Yep.
And I told my boss, I'm gonna make you look so good. My job is to serve you. I'm gonna serve you, and I'm gonna serve my people so they can serve me, serving you. And you're gonna shine at the corporate office.
Yes. The last role I was in, before I joined SMK, my boss would say all the time, there are two type of leaders, right? There's the leaders who can get stuff done, but they're leaving a trail of bodies behind them in the pathway. And then there are the leaders like he was, right, who led by example, who was exactly like you, right, approachable, played to your strong suits and helped you move things forward. Is his exact words, and he knows who he is, right? That was his exact words, and I see that in you, right? And I will say you are motivating me to grow. I know you're going to motivate our viewers to grow. And I think the team that you're working with should be excited and grateful to have you, right? To have you as a leader who, has sought to continue to learn and grow. Because like you say, not many leaders do that. Some people get to that stop, they get that terminal degree and say it's terminal for a reason. I'm not doing anything else, right? But you didn't do that. You kept going and you continue to learn so that you can pour in other people. But
Yeah.
to this point, we've talked about successes. I don't think people know leaders fail.
Yeah, hold on. Let me share one more thing before you go into that.
Okay.
The other thing other than influence that is important for a leader is vision. What are you leading without a vision? Where are your people going? They have to have a vision. There
How do you get them
has
to
to
buy
be a
into that
goal,
vision?
huh?
How do you get them to buy into that vision as a leader? Because their vision is not your vision and vice versa. So
Ah,
how do you do that?
I'm glad you said that. If their visions don't align, then they don't belong.
Understand?
No,
How do you
see,
bring them along? How do you
so
bring them
so
along before you make
so
that
here's
decision?
here's the thing. When you come and you apply to a job, right? We bring
Yes.
you in. We do all our due diligence to make sure that you're a quality employee or associate or partner, whatever the company calls it. And you come in and you go through this orientation process. The orientation process is to get you accustomed and acclimated to all things in that company. It is
Yes.
at that time that you need to assess your internal vision alignment with the vision of that of the organization. If it doesn't align, hey, you have a responsibility, all right, to leave with no,
Yes.
that's we can part ways or you can part ways. It's all
Yes.
good. You within your 90 days. That's what that's for. That's there
Yes.
for us to kind of see if we mesh and we have the same vibe, we have the same click. Can you imagine a construction worker coming to work at the facility as a nurse? Your vision don't align. You got to go someplace where your vision align. And I say this
Yes.
all the time. And I've said this to my staff recently. We had a meeting. I said, if you don't have love in your heart and you can't show kindness and you don't care, you're in the wrong profession.
Powerful. Powerful.
So, but there is a part where you can put vision in people, inspire them. That's where inspiration comes in, where you can inspire them and show them what the vision is about and why it's an important. How does it apply? How does it apply to the communities or all the stakeholders involved? And then they may get further buy-in. See, adults learn by understanding the why. According to Bloom's taxonomy, a lot of times when we're learning, we like to know the why. Can you explain why are we doing this way? When I know
Yes.
the why, then it gets embedded into my memory. Then I can see if it fits in my heart.
Wow.
You see? So what is my vision? My vision is to lead leaders and to help individuals identify their destiny so that they can impact social change. As a nursing home administrator, do you think I'm doing that?
Yes, yes, yes.
My vision aligns, my
Yes.
personal vision aligns with that of the organization. I'm changing lives, impacting social change because these residents in the nursing home are also part of the community. They're going to go back into the community. The staff live in the community. So when I help them, they go back in the community and be an asset to their environment rather than destruction. Vision,
Man.
vision, vision is important. If you
Yes.
don't have vision, what are you fighting for? What we have to have the vision.
Yes.
All
Dr.
right,
Pete.
I'm sorry. Now you can go into the fed part.
Dr. Pete, I'm grateful to have you on Sound Leadership with
I
DJ.
appreciate it.
And
I'm enjoying this. Yeah, I love it.
it's you're sharing your vision, but we I started to ask you about failures, right? Because we have all failed. And I'm the first to tell people, I graduated high school with a 0.7 GPA, number 67 out of 67, right? That's verified, fact checked, Detroit, Michigan, product of DPS. It happened. But I didn't let that failure stop me from sitting where I am now, right? I
Right.
used that failure to springboard me forward because what people told me, I wouldn't be successful. I wouldn't be where I am today. I used that as motivation to move me forward. Can you tell us about a time that maybe you failed or somebody counted you out and you use that to move you forward so you can be the leader that you are today?
Well, I was with a large nursing home company in the southeast, and I was a respiratory consultant for them. And I thought, I can navigate being in the nursing home industry if I can get my nursing degree. So I found a school out of Alabama that would take my respiratory degree and bridge me to a master's in clinical nurse leadership. But I could do it online with the exception of some clinical that I would need to do, and I couldn't. And the dean told me that I could not do it all on the weekend. So I went to my boss and said, "Hey, I found a school that would allow me to get my master's in nurse clinical leadership, so I can really be a part of this organization and really navigate the organization. And but the only thing is, there would be some days that I would need to do clinicals, but I could always make my hours because I make my own hours anyway, being a consultant." "Oh no, we're not going to be able to do that. No, we're not going to let you do that." I was so hurt. So I went back to the drawing table, and I had a nurse that used to work for me, and her mother was a dean at a school. I think it was American Public University. She was high up there. She had about 300 staff. And I used to go to their house, and I used to cook at her house. And she said, "Why don't you come to my school? It's only about 200 and something a semester hour." I said, "Really?" "Yes, it's for veterans." I said, "Okay." When I went to that school, before I can apply, I had to do a personality assessment. That was the pivot. I did a personality assessment, and based on the personality assessment, it sprang out a bunch of jobs based on my personality that I would qualify for,
Wow.
that I should get a degree in. And then it also attached the salaries, statistical um, analysis with the salaries in the areas. And I slashed off everything that was less than what I was currently making. And I was left with CEO, COO, occupational therapy, um, professor. You know, I had a lot of leader qualities because of
Yeah.
my ability. Because I was I'm a very much a people person.
Yes.
So I ended up taking it and doing it and excelling, and that's the pivotal. So I use that perceived failure, and then here's the other thing: to find out she didn't have a degree. So she tried to block me, but I still got my master's and I still work for her. It's not about having the higher degree. It's as long as you have the right people on your team, no one's looking at, a
Yep.
degree. We don't, we just want to we just want to serve. And so I challenged South Carolina. I got my nursing home administrator and I presented to her and she was shocked.
Wow.
So yeah, I've been busy.
Wow.
And here's my resignation.
Wow. That's powerful. And
And
it,
and the
it
and
shows your
the
tenacity. It
Mhm.
shows your tenacity, your strength, and your willpower. And we have a lot of viewers that's going to watch this that needs that motivation and need that guidance and need that little push that you can bring and that you can give from your story. So what would you say to some of my viewers who are aspiring leaders who are scared of failure, right? Because we talked about failure. What would you say to those aspiring leaders or people that maybe want to get into leadership, but they don't think they can lead people, or they've been told they can't lead? What would you say to them?
First of all, failure offers you an opportunity to learn. A lot of times people view failure as bad. When you think about Toyota Kata, there's no such thing as failure in Toyota Kata when we talking about quality improvement. It's always about what can we do to make it work? If this didn't work, what can I do to make it work? But sometimes we're not aligned with what we're naturally good at, and we try to do something outside of our element. So, and I recently did a video on that. I was like, if you want a key to what you're really good at, sometimes you need to go back and check your family. What's your mama good at? What's your daddy good at? What are you naturally good at? Are you a people person? Are you a talker? Are you a crafty person? Are you artsy fartsy? Can you draw really well? Are you musically inclined? Like and you can know the key, but just by hearing it, and it's a C sharp. Boom! As soon as you hit the
Woo!
key, you know, perfect tone, perfect pitch. You know,
Yes.
So a lot. My daughter is very good with art, so she's working on that. So my wife is number person, so she works with numbers. Guess what her mother's good at? Numbers. So a lot of times we try to go outside out what we're naturally good at, and it causes a lot of friction. It's not necessarily that you can't do it. You can do anything you put your mind to, but sometimes you'd have better fulfillment and more joy doing something you love and you're good at.
A little birdie told me that you are a mentor and a coach yourself, and you're getting ready to launch your own website and things. So, can you talk to me about your mentorship program or your coaching program and what it is that you do and how you continue to pour into others?
Oh, okay. So I have a website, imdrpete.com, imdrpet.com. And on that website, I have several products. One of them is one-on-one coaching with leaders or with other individuals that are seeking to find where they fit or need clarity on their goals. I can help you get clarity. We can drill down. I can drill down way deep into your family, where you're from, what you're doing, what your failures were, what kind of. Because a lot of times trauma keeps us from moving forward.
Yes.
Trauma can be a part of that failure that you're experiencing because you're holding on to that trauma rather than letting it go and moving forward. And so trauma is a big issue. So we can delve into that. I also have a group session that I'm getting ready to launch where several leaders can come. If you're a young leader and you want to come together, and we're going to talk about topics like emotional intelligence, servant leadership, appreciative
Ooh.
inquiry, constructive feedback, effective communication, conflict resolution. How to resolve conflict. And in a group setting with like-minded leaders where we can, you know,
Yes.
um,
Yes.
have the community of those in leadership to help us. And then there's the motivational speaking engagement and stuff like that. And I'm currently working on a book called The Power of Movement. And that power of movement stems right from my tenacity to get my doctorate degree. You see, energy is movement. And a lot of times, energy is designed to do the work based on its name, right? Thermal energy, you know, um, nuclear energy,
Yes.
right? All the different kind of energies. But the one I like to deal with is the potential energy. It's got ability to do the work. It's in the position to do the work, but it's not. Which one are you? Do you have the potential and you just sitting there? Potential is just that. Nothing happens. You don't get a product. But when it does the work, it is named after the work it does. Right? When we talk about energy and science. And that's actually how I start my book. And then we move on to other things. But yeah, so that's where my website is. And I'm already coaching some, helping them. And I've helped somebody align, and he looks to see me every week. It's like every week, I don't miss this time. And he's taking notes, writing things down, and growing and growing. And he's having actionable things. Things are opening up for him. I think sometimes we need somebody, a mentor, a coach, not necessarily because you need them to get the work done. It kind of opens up your mind. It opens up your mind. You see the impossible possible. When you have somebody in your corner that is actually, see, let me give you one. We open your awareness. For example, think about your favorite car.
I got it.
You ever notice how the moment you start thinking about a car you want, that's all you see on the highway?
Love it.
What? Yes. What? Are you a magician? Or were the cars already there? The cars were already there, but somehow you have unlocked that part in your brain and the awareness. Now you are now aware. That's what mentorship and coaching can do for you. It's not so much that we got all this knowledge to show you how to do this. We're going to help lead you to where the information is. But what we're going to do is break that brain open and show you the possibilities and help you navigate that and find a solution and find goals and work that goal and make steps and check the boxes as you do the steps until you reach your goal. It's that awareness that helps. And that's what he told me. I said, I didn't do anything. I just made you aware. Now look at this. Now look at where you are. We see those cars all the time. We just weren't aware. That Maserati was there. Soon as I say I want a Maserati, that's all I see. Oh, there goes a black one. Oh, there goes a white one. Oh man, there's a red one. That one looks nice. It's always been there.
Yep. Man, I love it, man. I've had just a joy talking to you. And I know that the viewers, once they see this, right, and hear you speak and hear your passion for leadership, your passion for mentorship, man, they're gonna be flocking at your door. Let me run your website one more time along the screen. How can they reach you, right? What's the best way to reach you? Obviously, you have your website. Is there email or LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook? What's the best way to reach you?
Well, my email right now is imdrpet@gmail.com.
Perfect. So
I'm Dr. Pete at gmail.com. That's also my ID on Instagram. I'm drpete.com. I'm Dr. Pete. That's also my handle on YouTube. I'm Dr. Pete. And Facebook is iamdrpete.com. Okay. So I'm on those. And LinkedIn, Dr. Peterson Merville. That's where we met. So
yes. I saw you posted excellent leadership stuff. As I do, I'm a fan of leadership. If you can't tell,
yeah,
I love all things leadership.
I am too. I love leading, and let me tell you, it's not always a walk in the park. It's not always a walk. It's hard. It's hard, but I love it. I enjoy moving people. I enjoy getting to do. What I like? I like when they get that spark. When they've done a good job.
Yes.
I love it. Today was the first day we were out of masks. And I was going around my staff. I was like, oh, look at you. You look so beautiful. I've never seen your face before. And they was like, yeah, Dr. Pete, your beard is really nice. I was like, what a lovely smile you have. Now, don't mess up now. Stay social distance. Social distant and keep doing the right thing so we don't get back in the mask. But you're trying to make it fun for them to work, but there's another side, accountability. And as a leader, what gets monitored gets done.
I love it.
And I'm gonna leave this with you. Yesterday in my meeting, I told my staff, you guys are overwhelmed. There's no doubt about it. And then I pile more things on you, and you've got a lot of things to do, and you get overwhelmed. But progress is all I'm looking at. You only eat one. You can only eat an elephant one bite at a time. In the army, I think it was the Army Corps of Engineers, but it dates back to France. There was a saying that says, "The difficult we do today. The impossible just take a little longer."
Listen, I am a fan. I am a fan. I am a fan. I thank you for really coming on board and speaking to the audience. And I thank you and the viewership, right? Thank you for joining us here on Sound Leadership with DJ. We hope you gain valuable insights and inspiration from our dear conversation with Dr. Pete. If you'd enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe to our social media page. You can follow us here on YouTube and on LinkedIn at Sound Leadership with DJ. And you can follow me personally at Your Healthcare Consultant on Instagram and TikTok. I want you to remember this, right? Leadership is a journey. It's not a destination. Dr. Pete has told us that. So I want you to keep striving to learn and grow and never give up on your goals. We here at Sound Leadership wish you all the best on your leadership journey, and we hope that you will join us again soon for more great discussions on Sound Leadership with DJ.